Thomas Tuchel's first game in charge of Chelsea would end 0-0 at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea 0, Wolves 0 is how it finished. Oh, this wasn't very good.
Well, if it was a passionate square competition, then Chelsea have won the league because it was sort of one of those performances. But, Tuchel just in the door literally can do nothing apart from, I think it was reported, watched a few tapes. Right. Obviously, he knows the players anyway, but watched some recent tapes, decided on a team, changed the shape, played a 3 at the back, brought Azpilicueta back in as a right-sided centre-back, which arguably had his best ever season in that position for Chelsea under Antonio Conte. Had Hudson-Odoi at wing-back, which is the first time I think he's played there, and that allowed Ziyech and Havertz to play a little narrower. And he looked to try and do something there, but Wolves just played. Wolves have been having a tough season, right? They've lost some of the key players. They've started to change the shape of their team, although they went back to old school back three in this game. But I'm getting fed up watching teams just with just over 20% possession in Premier League games.
Right.
And this is not because it's Chelsea, right? Because I've seen a lot of teams doing it, and Wolves are a decent side. They're having a troublesome season, but it's just off-putting. And then you're asking the question of Chelsea, can they break you down? And they were a bit ponderous at times, and the final ball wasn't right, and it's difficult to break down. And it was all a bit frustrating for them. And yeah, I mean, he's not going to learn a lot from that, but he's in the door, he's off and running, and now he gets to work with the players for a few more days. He
went a lot with the kind of the veterans of the side, Stevie. What was his thinking there?
Just pretty much what everybody was saying, to be honest, that they're in a tough spot, and rather than go with youth, he's going to go with people that have kind of been through the ringer, who will step on the field and he knows pretty much what he's going to get from them, and he's going to put his eggs in the basket of the likes of Ziyech and Havertz further forward up the field. That's pretty much the way he was thinking. Listen, Chelsea went about it the right way. They did all the things that they haven't done recently, which is, closing the ball down. They were moving it pretty quickly. They had some lovely passing. Unfortunately, it was all in the middle of the field. It was really sharp and incisive in the middle of the field, but as soon as it got 25, 30 yards for goal, then it didn't work. They were just completely blunt. But I guess you can't fix it in one game and one training session, but he certainly got a lot of work to do as far as creating and scoring goals, because they looked as though they'd be there all day and not managed to get either.
Yeah, and the reaction over the last couple of days from the boys on the show and also from Chelsea fans has been rather tepid regarding the appointment of Tuchel. I know you're one of his best friends.
No, not one of my best friends, but I rate him very much as a coach. He's been developing from his days in Mainz over Dortmund, over PSG, and now Chelsea. I mean, it's normal when Frank Lampard, who is a living legend at Chelsea, there's no patience in the game anymore. But I think we know that 2017 he was already to an interview by Chelsea, and now Thomas Tuchel, he was available for them, and that was not good timing for Frank Lampard, and he was the best manager available at the moment. I think, look away from Frank Lampard, I think that Chelsea have got one of the best coaches around, and he will do very well for them. And sometimes we talk, he's so difficult, he's this and he's that. I mean, there were stories all around in Dortmund but he was doing quite good in Dortmund. And they say, yeah, he didn't win the league. Nobody wins the league outside the Bayern camp. So nothing to do with that. He's developing. I think they've got himself a good coach. I also think that the way he went today, he went safe. He went with experienced players. But I think that the way he plays, it was actually good news for the young kids at Chelsea, because he will love his energy. He will love them to close down. He will love them to be all over the pitch. And some of these kids, like Mount, for example, that I rate very highly, they will get enough playing time. I think they could be key players for the Thomas Tuchel of his Chelsea team.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN+.